In 1908, a ship called Casato Maru arrived in Brazil bringing 793 people. They were the first Japanese to land in Brazil to work in the coffee plantations in the countryside of Brazil. It was only in the 30s that the Japanese families started leaving the countryside and the coffee plantations to come and live in the big city of São Paulo. They chose an area where most of the houses had basements, and living in basements was much cheaper than in an actual house. The neighborhood is called Liberdade.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boy.
Hi, my name is Anna, and here on this channel we speak about everything related to food, culture, architecture, and much more in Brazil. Come with me as we explore this beautiful country together. Today I will be telling you more about the Liberdade neighborhood, as well as what you have to do in there. If Liberdade became famous due to its Japanese heritage, nowadays it houses most of the Far East countries' culture such as Chinese, Korean, and more. If you're looking to buy Japanese items like newspaper, clothes, food products, and beauty products, I would suggest you go during the week just to avoid the crowds. However, if you want to experience the vibrancy of the community as well as see people doing cosplay and things like that, then I suggest you go either on Saturday or Sunday during the day. This is because they have a street market with loads of Japanese-inspired food that attracts a lot of people and make the neighborhood much more lively. You will notice the Japanese influence not only in the architecture throughout the buildings of the neighborhood, as well as in the lampposts that you can see on the main roads. After getting a snack in one of the stalls in the street market, I suggest you make your way down Rua Galvão Bueno, which is one of the main roads, and you're gonna see it right away. You can leisurely visit the galleries and shops, but at some point you're gonna find a bridge over a very busy road, and right next to it an oriental garden. The garden is open between 10 and 4 p.m, so make sure if you want to visit that you are there during those hours. The neighborhood is also very famous for holding several festivities of all of the different Asian countries, and as you can see here, when I was there, it was during the Chinese New Year, so I got some pretty good footage of the celebration of the Dragon Year that was just starting. You can check the calendar for the festivities on Instagram. There are a couple handles I'm gonna be posting here on the screen for you. You will notice that the Japanese culture is very strong in the neighborhood, since you're gonna see a lot of graffiti and street art with Japanese influence, Japanese supermarkets, and even Japanese newspapers being sold on the newspaper stands. You can also visit a maid cafe and even some of the many Asian restaurants you can find in the area. As you keep walking down Galvão Bueno Street, you will see the Torii Gate, which marks the official entrance to the neighborhood. From this point onwards, the streets will be a bit quieter, but you can still find loads of shops and restaurants that are inspired by Asian culture. As you get to the corner of São Joaquim Street, you will find the Nippo-Brazilian Society. The last 3 floors of this unassuming building houses the Japanese Immigration Museum. The museum houses several real Japanese artifacts as well as gifts from the Japanese government to Brazil, as well as explain the entire history from the time they arrived in 1908 until the present days. It is a small but fun museum that I suggest you visit if you want to know more about the Japanese culture in Brazil. On the last floor, you can find a small gift shop, as well as a small cafe with Japanese treats, and a big window overlooking the neighborhood. Back to the main square of Liberdade, you're going to see a statue of a black woman. Her name was Deolinda Madre, and she's considered the mother of samba in São Paulo. Even though she doesn't have a particular connection to the neighborhood, that neighborhood was occupied by black people before the Japanese arrived in the 1930s. You will also notice a small chapel tucked in the corner of Liberdade Square with Liberdade Avenue. This church was built in honor of a black person that was hanged here, but before actually meeting his end, the rope snapped twice, causing many to think an innocent man was being unjustly sentenced, and because of that, the church was built in his honor. I was not able to go in as the church closes at 1 p.m. on weekends, but by the pictures you can tell it looks really pretty, so you should visit if it is open. In order to get to Liberdade, the easiest way is to get the metro and stop at the station Japão Liberdade at the Blue Line. There are also several buses that go by Liberdade Avenue, as well as a cab or Uber if you prefer. However, I would suggest that for this one, you get the metro, especially if you're going during the week, as traffic in São Paulo can be really heavy. I believe you can see all of Liberdade in half a day, and it might be a good idea to pair it with the attractions in downtown São Paulo, such as the Sé Cathedral and the Saint Benedict Monastery. If you want to know more about other attractions in São Paulo, I have these other videos here you might be interested in, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!